Hello and welcome to Billy Ho Sports. This week we return to Tampa Bay Downs for the Grade 2 Tampa Bay Derby. It's going to be another five-way payout in Kentucky Derby points, 50 points to the winner. Obviously, trainer Todd Pletcher has had the most success here at the Tampa Bay Derby, saddling up four winners in the mid-teens, 2013 to 2017, and then he had last year's winner, Tappet Trice. All these derby preps will be on my playlist. So if you ever want to go back and look at the replays, the analysis, post and pre-race previews and all that stuff, it's all there for you. So remember to subscribe to the channel. Give me that like, set those notification bells. And if you feel like it, leave me a comment. Let me know who you like in this race, because I'm going to tell you who I like. Let's go. Okay, number one, Heartened. Todd Pletcher trained colt. Recently broke his maiden at Tampa Bay, going 1.70 miles. Pretty slow in the opening half, but better third quarter. Slower paced race on the whole. He took to the lead early on, unlike his previous three races where he showed more of a stalking style just off the lead. But he easily put away the field in the stretch on this one. But the question is he ready to make that jump in class? Jose Ortiz is going to ride, so we'll see. Number two, Ever Do It, is trained by Kevin Rice. Antonio Gallardo is up. He lost the rider in the Sam F. Davis, but maiden victory in December did look promising, but he's regressed. He's a toss. Number three, Give Me Liberty, trained by Robert Diodoro. Still looking to break his maiden, which is kind of weird because I've been seeing Robert Diodoro just running off winners right off the claim, but he was only able to get a couple of second places off the claim of this one. But that last race out, he was right behind the leader in that stretch. And that race was considered pretty impressive win, who was a horse by the name of Dramatic, who went on to run in the Rebel Stakes and did garner some attention. So it does appear Give Me Liberty could have rallied had it not been for the erratic back and forth by Dramatic in that race. Could be a live long shot. Number four, Good Money, is trained by Chad Brown and a son of Good Magic. Excuse me, who won at 7 furlongs maiden race, Tampa, in his lone start on January 26th. Good Money was the case because he won at 4-1, defeating the 1-2 favorite. He didn't really earn all that great a speed figure for that effort, so he's going to need to make a significant jump in order to compete here. Get to one of our main contenders here. Number five is Domestic Product. Trainer Chad Brown once again ran second in the Holy Bull. Saved ground on the inside. Was tracking Hades on that 25.50 opening quarter and half slow pace. He did run well and was catching up in the stretch, but just didn't have enough to get to Hades. Just that kind of pace just does not bode well for anybody trying to make up ground. I expect him to move forward off that 3-year-old debut, as he'll likely have a faster pace to set up his rally. Tyler Gaffleone up, coming off a spill he had recently, so he looks to be okay. And I think he'll be a likely top two choice. Number six, Katire Vizcaya is Juan Avila trains. Marcos Menendez will ride. 10th in the Rocky Run back in December from Delaware. Recently 5th in allowance. Not a real threat here. Moving on to number 7, No More Time. That is Jose D'Angelo, Javier Castellano. It's coming off that wire-to-wire victory in the Sam F. Davis. Fired off some really swift fractions in that race and was able to hold off Agate Road late. Can he repeat that performance is the question, but should be on the lead again and looking to complete that Tampa double. So we shall see. That leads us to number 8, Crazy Mason. Back again. He regressed from a 90 Brisnet speed figure in this second place finish in the inaugural stakes to finish 6th place in that Sam F. Davis for trainer Greg Sacco. Putting back on the blinkers could help him regain his focus and put him back in the mix to hopefully claim some Derby points. So number 9 is Grand Mo the First. That is a son of Uncle Mo, trained by Vic Barbosa, and we'll have the Macho Man, Sammy Camacho, in the saddle. Coming off the third place finish in the Swale Stakes at Gulfstream, going 7 furlongs, was pretty impressive. He was right up there with a solid group of horses, just behind the winners. Both of those horses ran 2 and 3 in the Fountain of Youth. Frankie's Empire, the winner, and the second place Ladombro were both second and third in the Fountain of Youth just last weekend, behind Dornoch. And they were clear by 5 lengths over the rest of the field. So in this race, the Swale Stakes, Grand Mo had some traffic trouble, was steadied and 6 wide in the stretch, but still was able to close pretty well. The speed figures are really close, so I would consider him in the contenders list, top 3 to 4. I would see him at the bottom of the program, I think. And that leads us to our final one, number 10, Sturdy. Has been just that for trainer George Weaver. 2/3 and a second into 3 starts. Rallied up for that show money in his last, and he did just miss actually the 2 ahead of him by just ahead, really. There was the winner by a neck, then the second place by a neck. Junior Alvarado's going to ride. So we're going to jump over and look at some past performances and see if we can't narrow down what we're working with here. So let's do that. Okay, as always, looking at the past performances, I like to start with the track bias stats, especially if we have a number of races like in the meet. We've got 37 total races, and it does appear that the early speed and the early pressing is getting it done. But here, as of late, you can see over the last week, which is only a 3-race sample size, some of those stalkers are starting to hit the board. So I think that leaves pretty much everybody in play in this race. So it's not really going to be a super speed favoring race. So let's jump back up here to the top and we'll look at some things. The race has actually gotten more interesting now that I've done a deeper dive into it. No More Time, I think, is still going to be out your front runner, setting probably similar fractions that as he did in the Sam F. Davis. But you can see up here the some of the speed and the prime power and class. Grand Mo First is really up there. So that's one we're going to have to pay some attention to, I do believe. Now, I think Domestic Product looks pretty strong. And I'm going to show you why here in just a second. I think he'll have the ability to run down anybody in the stretch. And I think would have had more in the Holy Bull, but I think he got caught kind of in this little bubble going around the 3/4 pole into the final turn and was waited probably a little bit too long. I do think Grand Mo, the first, appears to be a good candidate for a 90+ Brisnet number. That's what I'm looking for. 95, I think, is going to be the target number of these Brisnet speed figures. Like 78, good money is going to have to jump at least 15 places to get there, and that's a big leap. 10 is about as much as you can expect, 75 to 85 type of thing. But I think if he did jump to 88, it's possible he gets a share for Chad Brown. But Domestic Product, I think, just needs a slight improvement, a little bit faster pace, and he's going to be a 96. No More Time, obviously, he runs a similar race. He's going to be right there, 95, 96. Crazy Mason, I do find interesting as well with the blinkers back on. I think in this race, in the Sam F. Davis last time, he was way too far back. You can see he was all the way back at 9th in the stretch, closed within 6th. But with this, that pace was just, it was a decent pace, fast enough for the close, but he was way too far back and too much gas in the tank for the other horses. So maybe an improvement. He'll be up closer to the lead, more like a 5th or a 6th instead of a 10th. Grand Mo the First, obviously, you got 81, 86, 86, 87. Not a big leap to jump 8 spots to get to that 95. Was beaten by a little weaker in the last race. Those two I mentioned before, but they came back and I thought they ran fair enough against Dornock, who's elite of the elite. So eligible and improved second off the layoff. So that's interesting. And he is ranked second in the prime power. So we'll finish up Sturdy is this race down here is I find interesting in October at the Big A. Right here, he gets an 82, second place, closing pretty decently. He's the 1A horse, and he does run second to Domestic Product. But the convincing thing about this is he beat Sturdy by 4.5 lengths in that mile and an eighth route race. So I think that's how much better of a horse he is than Sturdy. So I just wanted to give you guys a look at the past performances. And so I think I'll put Crazy Mason in the sleeper category. I still think Sturdy can close as well. And then those top 3 choices, the Domestic Product is number 1. Then it's kind of between Grand Mo the First and No More Time. I'm going to give the edge to No More Time because of how well he ran in the last out. So I would probably wheel Domestic Product and Domestic Product and No More Time. Lost my train of thought. Those 2 on top, and then those other 3 underneath. And then you got horses like the 1, the 3, and the 4. You can go underneath that to make it even deeper. Maybe bet some kind of trifecta. I would go too deep in any kind of pick 5s. I think those 2, your winner is going to be Domestic Product, in my opinion. But No More Time could definitely have a repeat performance, or maybe even step up. One of these other ones might pull it off, but it's going to be a little bit further of a stretch. But we shall see Saturday. So best of luck. I hope you enjoyed the preview of the Tampa Bay Derby, and we will see you soon.